Did you know that deep in the Brazilian jungle, amongst the dense foliage and whispering winds, there exists a story that even the locals are afraid to speak of? A legend so chilling it blurs the line between folklore and a terrifying reality. Tonight we dive into the haunting tale of the Nightwalker of Mato Grosso. Welcome to the Nightside Archive, where the shadows tell stories, if you dare to listen. The Mato Grosso region, revered for its breathtaking biodiversity, is also home to one of the most unnerving legends in Brazil. On the surface, it's a paradise. Flocks of brightly colored birds, rivers teeming with life, and towering trees that have stood for centuries. But as the day fades and the sun sinks below the canopy, a different rhythm cloaks the jungle. It's the rhythm of fear. A legend stalks this land, and locals have known its name for generations. Corpo Seco, the dry body. The story begins in the 1800s with a farmer named João Cabrera. João built his life on the edge of this stronghold of nature, untouched by the rapid modernization that was transforming parts of Brazil. But João wasn't loved or even respected. His disdain for the living world, people, animals, and even the trees he lived among was well known. He was a cruel man, infamous for his violent outbursts and heavy-handed punishments. But what sealed his fate was neither people nor beasts. It was the land itself. João had fashioned a home from the surrounding forest without thanks or reverence. He would chop trees indiscriminately to sell as timber. Locals whispered that the forest could feel his disrespect and that its ancestral spirits, the curupiras, watched silently. But João refused to believe in what he couldn't see. Little by little, signs started cropping up. First, the eerie sounds. Whispers mixing with the rustling leaves, unnatural sounds that echoed even when the night was still. Then, João's hunting dogs refused to venture beyond the main house after sundown. This wasn't merely a coincidence, they said. It was the forest's warning. It wasn't long before João disappeared. No one thought much of it initially. Hardly anyone liked him, after all. But weeks passed, then months. The forest had reclaimed his home, weaving vines through its crumbling roof. What struck the villagers was the weird shift in the jungle's energy. Where once the tree-lined paths felt alive, now there was an unshakable tension in the air. Despite their fear, one small group eventually ventured to investigate. What they found crystallized the legend forever. João wasn't dead, at least not entirely. Or perhaps he was, and that was the horror. By moonlight, they saw him, a gaunt, skeletal figure, his skin clinging to his body as though it had dried straight onto bone. He wandered aimlessly under the cover of darkness, his movements unnatural and stiff. They claimed his gaze alone could drain the life out of you, his eyes outlined by hollow darkness. The villagers named him Corpo Seco, believing his transformation was the jungle's revenge, his punishment for his cruelty and disrespect of nature. Sightings of the Nightwalker became rare, but persisted over the years. Travelers recount overnight stays on the forest edges, waking to crippling nausea, hearing dry, raspy breathing just outside their tents. Others describe seeing a grotesque silhouette on foggy nights through the trees, always watching, never approaching. No one who ventures too close returns. Corpses, mummified without decay, sometimes appear miles away from any village, bearing no apparent wounds, just inexplicable, lifeless forms, twisted in shapes suggesting agony. Legends often have a way of embedding themselves, not through belief, but through shared fear. Many locals living in the modern-day town of Chapada dos Guimarães refuse to venture into deep forest areas after the sun sets. Guides know every trail, every sound in the daylight, but ask them to lead you at night, and they'll stop you cold. All claim to have heard something: faint whispers, cracking branches under no human feet, shifts in shadows that defy natural behavior. Corpo Seco, they say, is still there, impossibly roaming decades later. And skeptics? Oh, they arrive all the time, thinking themselves bold, modernized, outsmarting tales spun out of rural superstition. Many make it out to tell the tale of nothingness, of empty woods and paranoia. Some come back with harrowing silence. But others? They don't come back at all. Just years ago, a Dutch photographer intent on debunking the story vanished with his assistant. Their gear was later found abandoned. The film retrieved showed nothing, except one blurry frame of tree canopy, streaked in black and round, pale things often identified with human eyes. The cause of their disappearance remains a mystery. The forest of an ancient land never sleeps. It reminds humanity of its relentless power in the form of dark legends, like Corpo Seco, or as skeptics might say, through our imaginations. So if you ever find yourself in Mato Grosso, soaking in its beauty in daylight, remember to heed its warning before nightfall. And if you hear faint whispers, leave before curiosity overtakes you. Because sometimes the jungle watches, and sometimes it walks. That's it for this chilling tale from the Nightside Archive. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts below. Have your own eerie encounter or legend you'd like us to explore? Let us know. Until next time, remember, the darkest stories often come from where shadows grow thickest.